stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We look at it. Start with McNeil instead of what's on the agenda. There's a low top.
Oh, instead of starting with the public hearings?
Well, after the public. hearing.
Oh, okay. Do we do the public hearings?
Let's do the public hearings. Public hearing number 1. Community Development Block Grant Application 2023. The hearing is held for the purpose of hearing public comments on the village's community development needs and to discuss the possible submission of one or more community development block grants. CDBG applications for the 2023 funding year. CDBG program is administered by the New York State Office of Community Renewal and will make funds available to eligible local governments for housing, economic developments, including microenterprise assistance for businesses for 5 or fewer individuals, including the owners, public facilities, public infrastructure, and planning activities, with the principal purpose of benefiting low to moderate income persons. The Village of Homer is applying for $1 million in CDBG funds to improve public water infrastructure in the village. The hearing will provide further information about the CDBG program and will allow for citizen participation in the development of proposed grant applications and or to provide technical assistance to develop alternate proposals. Comments on the CDBG program or proposed projects will be received at this time. The hearing is being conducted pursuant to section 570.486 subpart I of 24 CFR and in compliance with the requirements of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974 as amended.
Any comments? Ms. Boyce Thrice. We got a motion.
I'll make a motion that we apply for the CDBG grant applications of 2023.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public hearing number 2. To use monies from water equipment reserve, $40,000 to replace a Newton Waterworks truck.
Any discussion? Ms. Boyce Thrice.
I make a motion that we use monies from the water equipment reserve for in the tune of $40,000 to replace the Newton Waterworks truck.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okey-dokey. Now, before the minutes even,
Well, it's up to you. That's before all the reports.
before all the reports.
I just didn't have time to change the order.
Okay, all right. Are you guys all right with moving that to the right up to now?
Yes.
Oh, sure. Okay, let's do that then.
All right.
The minutes, ooh, that's
Aye.
fine.
That's where we get warmed up usually.
Take it easy. So my name is Nicole Meeker. I represent Penflex. We are a LoSAP administration company. We've been in talks with the fire department, had some preliminary talks with some of the board members. I presented an estimate to them last night, found out it was going to be presented here, offered to come and just kind of go over it so I could ask or answer any questions that you might have at this point. When the PowerPoint will be up and running. So again, this is all an estimate. We worked closely with Cody at the fire department to kind of come up with these numbers. The department and village that we've talked to so far thought the easiest, most affordable plan for your town would be a defined contribution plan. It's called the DC plan.
We're the village.
Village. I've lived around here my whole life.
Okay.
I apologize. Village. Got me on that last too. So what I'm going to run through. Did you have the actual cost estimates for the board members as well?
Not here. I just did the PowerPoint.
Okay, so I have. I'll give
Are
you
these
one
all
set.
these ones?
Yeah, I have another
Copy.
extra set. If anyone wants to see, but the meat and potatoes of it are copied in there. So basically, there were a couple different options we've narrowed down together that they're going to present to the board. Exhibit A is an entitlement age of 60 with a 5-year buyback. So LoSAP, for those who don't know, it is a pension-like product for firemen, volunteer firemen. What it is it's a recruitment retention tool. We want them to come in, get vested, stay around, and in the end, reward them over time for doing so. So that's kind of the program in general. So all of my commentary on the side is based on a $500 a year benefit. So the department will have a point structure. New York State has the general municipal law that pretty much sets out the point structure. There's not a lot of flexibility in it. You have to earn 50 points a year to get your service credit. When you get your service credit, the village would then put in however many dollars is voted on for you per year. I use 500. So the cost of the benefit at $500, assuming all 43 members. So I worked with Cody to get a roster of active members they thought would earn that 50 points, because we don't want to skyrocket your estimate. You could have 100 people on the books, but 100 people aren't going to earn their 50 points and be that active. The criteria to earn LoSAP points is higher than just to be an active fireman. Which you want it to be, because you want them to come in and, do the work. So we did a couple options with a 5-year buyback. A lot of people have been in the department for a number of years. New York State says you can go back up to 5 years and reward them 5 years credit. Assuming all 43 members have 5 years in the past, you would have to fund that credit. There's a couple of different ways to fund the credit. You can fund it in a lump sum up front, or you can amortize it over 5 years. If you were to amortize it, that cost for just the past service credit would be $22,658 for 5 years. So you would be paying that on top of any new earned benefit. That's also assuming the maximum. That's assuming every one of those 43 firemen has 5 years already in, and we're going to pay them for that. I can tell you guaranteed that's not the case. So people might have 1 or 2 years. If they have 1 or 2 years in, that's the credit we're going to fund them for. We won't know this true cost until after we get our first sentence in, but it will not be more than that. $22,650 if you amortize over 5 years. And then if you have all 43 members and they earn that credit year at $500, your normal cost of benefit, so your yearly cost, would be $21,500. So that would be the village's cost to pay for all 43 members earning service credit. Again, we'd like to think that everyone would earn credit every year. That's just not really the case. So over on the right-hand side, under the estimated annual cost, if you stay on that top line, if 50% of the people got 5 years and earned their credit, the cost would only be $26,000, $26,079. If absolutely everyone earned their credit and the 5 years buyback, doing the amortization, your cost for the first 1 to 5 years would be roughly $48,158. Again, that's everyone earning 5 years, earning a year every year for the first 5 years. So it's probably going to be somewhere in between. If you amortize your buyback, it's going to cost a little bit more, because you're not going to get, we estimate 5.25% interest you're going to earn on your account. So the investment is separate than the LoSAP management. So that is someone you have to hire kind of separately than us. But with the people we work with, 5.25% is conservative and safe. And that's a number we go with all of our estimates. On to the next slide. So this is if you were to pay that 5-year buyback in 1 year. So again, if all 43 members earned and they all had 5 years, your buyback would be $103,000. So you're saving about $10,000 if you could fund all that money in the first year. Because again, that's giving that 5.25% interest over those extra 4 years. Assuming that half the people half the people got the 5-year service credit, you would owe $51,500 for prior credit. So again, it's probably gonna fall somewhere in the middle of that. Not everyone's gonna have that 5 years. And in order to get those 5 past years, you have to come and do a service credit earning year. So you would have the first 2 years of a department plan to earn a service credit year in order to get that 5-year buyback. So we're not gonna call people who moved to Florida and say, hey, we just awarded you five years credit. You have to come back and do good service for the village for a year and earn those points. And we give them 2 years, and you'll write that right in your plan, because people need to be made aware that it's out there for them. And if the plan starts up and really gets rolling in the middle of the year, you want to be fair and give them time to earn their credit. A low set year is always January through December, and that's part of the New York State rules. Moving on to the finer details, kind of went over this a little bit. The buyback years, you may get credited for up to 5 years. What's going to happen is the department and the village will have to get together, because obviously there was no point system in the last 5 years. The department and the village will get together, have some criteria so they can explain it and give people points accordingly. You obviously will want them to be an active member. Talking to Cody last night, they have some really good tracking things on some parameters, calls and trainings. So that'll probably be the base of how you award points for the prior 5 years. And then going forward, the point system would be established, and that's what they would go off of. Like I said, you must earn credit in the first 2 years to earn that buyback. Once the buyback is done, your contribution and your liability would be, your liability for those 5 years will be paid off either in the first year if you choose, or in the first 5 years of the plan. Again, we did that based on a roster of 43 people. And just to reiterate, the 1 year fee would be an estimate of $103,000. If you did the amortization over 5 years, it would be an estimated $22,658. Once your contributions, your annual contribution after buyback will decrease significantly. So once that 5-year buyback is done, you will only be paying for service credit earned. So if 20 people earn service credit, you're going to go 20 people times the dollar amount you chose as the benefit. And that is it's static. It's easy to calculate into a budget because your membership doesn't fluctuate too greatly year over year. You're not going to have 20, 30 firemen difference that are earning points. So from a budgeting perspective, that's kind of nice. That's why the defined contribution is here. Plus, when we do a yearly report for you, we would give you your estimated contribution for the following year to help budgeting purposes. And then there's a separate administrative cost. So the administrative cost for us to run the plan is approximately $4,000. That's to do the reports. PenFlex will do all of the documents for you. We encourage you to have your attorney look it over as well. But a lot of it is pretty standard from plan to plan. DCs are pretty much the same. So the first thing that would need to happen is after the village board discusses it, you would have to pass a resolution to say that you're willing to support this. It obviously has to go out to public referendum, but this would write the resolution for you. You would take it to your attorney. They would look at it. You would, at whatever board meeting would go over that, yay or nay, sign or decline it. And then if that passed, we would have to put out a public notice. They have to be notified for 30 days. PenFlex also writes the public notice. At that time, we would have to have solidified what you wanted to support for a plan, because that would all be written in that public notice. You would also have to, at that time, choose if you wanted to do the amortization over 5 years or pay the lump sum, because that has to go out to the voters. They have to know as well. And then the last piece we'll do is we'll write the referendum that you guys can put on the ballot. We will write your plan document for you, and we'll also write the point system. So there is a startup fee, usually around $2,000. That's to write all those plan documents. That's a one-time fee. And then you would just, every year you sign a service contract with us, So every year you would know upfront what your service fee would be. And then,
And that's
My-
4,000, right?
yeah. And then there's just my little disclaimer on the last page, because these are all estimates based on the 43 members, roster that was supplied to us. That was kind of the short and sweet meat and potatoes of it.
That's excellent, actually, that, because I read the PowerPoint yesterday. I couldn't make it to be, but I read the PowerPoint and I had definitely had some questions, but you answered them all, which is good.
The other question that you had to do on how much they would earn. And so Cody actually ran it into the cost estimators that are in here, and you'll see the graphs. The average return conservatives 5.25% over the lifetime at 40 years. You'll see it's 16,977. And then there's also they went to the higher one is 8%, it's 22,881. And you add that to the contributions, that becomes, a nice
Yeah.
retirement.
Okay. All right. Any questions from the board?
All of mine answered last night.
So Cody and Jay were going to start working on the point system to bring to here,
Okay,
because all of this would have to be done by the end of July if it is going to move forward. So you have to decide and get all the info beforehand.
okay,
And to see if you agree, because during the years of COVID, the point system went away. It was there before and then went away.
okay,
So they have some criteria, they're gonna work it up and then actually even work up what they think the census, but then the village would completely go through all that.
okay. So, yeah, so obviously we would like to know how many people qualify for the 5-year buyback. That's definitely.
Absolutely.
And the 5-year buyback is not required to start a program. It obviously does a lot for the heart and soul of the people that have been there for forever,
Sure.
but also not, you have to do with what's within your budget.
And it's an up to 5-year buyback, right? It could be a 2-year buyback, 1 year. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Is this something we're looking to put on this year's voting budget?
I know when at the meeting you talked about January 1st, 24, so it would be on this year's ballot, but it would start in January. So we would have to work with the chiefs to come up with where we would pay some of it out of the fire budget from there. But it could be whatever year you guys decide if you do go forward. If it is on this year's referendum, it has to be there by early August. And so the timeline is pretty tight.
Right.
And that's why we met yesterday.
Nicole, I have a question. So say we start off with the $500.
Mhm.
Say 5-6 years down the road, we find ourselves doing very well within the village that we could possibly increase it. Can we up the amount?
Yeah, so you can always increase it. It would have to go back out to referendum,
Mhm.
but you could increase it. Right now, New York State maximum is $1,200. So when you increase your plan, it's for the next year points going forward. So people who have earned their credit years at $500, those years will still stay $500. That's already what's in the plan for them.
Mhm.
But future years going forward could be whatever dollar amount you guys decided on.
Okay.
I guess I'll touch on a few other things.
Yeah, I would talk
The-
about the eligibility, like the older people, what they get every year
So-
when they're.
Yes, entitlement age. You can pick anywhere between 55 and 70 is the entitlement age. Between 60 and 65 are pretty typical. What would happen is entitlement age is basically when you would get paid out. So when you want your members to get paid out of the plan. They can still continue to earn credit years after they're out of the plan. We have some people in their 70s that are great fire police and always show up. They can still earn credit. What happens then is their money just doesn't get invested. It's like money in, money out. When you do your contribution, they're gonna get a check for the $500 year over year. New York State says you can provide service credit for up to 50 years. So right now the max is 50 years. That just changed a couple years ago. A lot of plans are still at 40. I think that's kind of where we were talking about in the last couple meetings, is staying at 40 years. So a fireman can earn this, we'll say $500 for up to 40 years. And then, that'd be really great if you had a fireman still invested in the program for 40 years, but, that's a pretty safe.
We
bet
just had
these
a
days.
couple with their 50th anniversary.
Yeah, unfortunately, in the service, that seems like that's the outgoing generations that are doing the 40, 50 years. But this is a great way to get a hold of those people that are in their 30s and are starting to think about their future and what's kind of left for them, and might provide them that extra incentive to like show up to a few more things, like it's your community, you're here. If you start thinking about your retirement and what this could mean for you, especially if you show them the numbers.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I am in Portland, so I'm always around. If you guys need me, I can leave a few of my cards for whoever. And then I will duck out if you guys are done with
Yeah.
me.
Oh, no.
Oh. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
I'll give you
I'll take another one.
one for you.
So, Jay and Cody are working on, like I said, the criteria and the numbers, and they also said anything else, but the village for that, to bring it up to, so that it could be reviewed.
All right. Back to the minutes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the May 9th minutes.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
There were two small corrections on the May 23rd minutes. Maureen has already made them.
Okay,
So I would like to make a motion that we approve the amended May 23rd minutes.
I'll second it.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, that's good. All right, next up, authorization of the payment of bills. First, F and G fund vouchers 85 through 108, totaling $13,706.35. A fund vouchers 243 to 316, totaling $103,295.60. And TNA fund vouchers 10 through 14, totaling $8,250.79.
I'll make a motion that we pay authorized payment of the bills.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okey-doke. Next up, approve the treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion to accept the treasury report as written.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. First up, cemetery reports.
Short and sweet, I'll make a motion to accept the cemetery monthly quarterly written.
Certainly a busy time of year for them, and I thought it looked great when we were there for Memorial Day.
Yep.
Second.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
Yeah,
Phil, do you know if, I saw Dave was up there, do you know if, or if Jim knows that those trees that we were scheduled to bring down, do you know if they came down or not?
They did.
They did?
Phil came and saw me.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I
then
know the ones up by the Earl Abbey were done. I know that.
Okay. Thanks.
It should have been in the report.
well, he only did it like last week.
Oh.
The report was done ahead.
Okay.
It'll be a next
It'll be
month.
on, probably on next month's report. I got ahead of myself.
No worries.
am I the only one that's noticed the unintentional comedy that one of the interments was a no-show?
Yeah, well, I didn't want to say anything.
The family.
So we've got a
knows.
zombie?
No, what happened is they scheduled a service and one of our employees was there on a Saturday waiting and they no show.
Okay. Gotcha. All right.
They got charged again for the Saturday.
That's what I want to be. I want to be no show for my own team.
Yeah, right?
But I want to
Or
second,
at least late.
yeah, I want to second what Elizabeth said. The cemetery looked great.
It
The
did.
grounds crew did an awesome job.
Yeah, they look great. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Good. Codes report. We got any, how Kevin's doing? He had a surgery. Yeah,
Adam said he was doing good. He's had his surgery at the beginning of the month.
that's what I thought. I thought it was right around the 6th or something. That's good.
In fact, he's been emailing.
Oh,
They
has he?
came from Adam, or they came from Kevin, so he talks to Adam a lot.
You have a question. Not sure what. Might not have been.
What did they have done?
Well, it's a potential new business that's going in on Main Street.
So the owner or the business person
Yep.
was given some bad information from the building owner. And so he is redoing his things and going through the proper procedure of going through county and then going through the village.
Okay.
And so it is temporarily shut down
Yep.
Okay.
until he follows the proper.
It was
procedure.
sent to county and it's already on the planning board.
Okay. All right.
It was not intentional by the business owner. He got some bad information. And he is rectifying the situation correctly.
He's
Okay.
been running, like, jumping, running and doing it.
Okay, all right. Right,
Make a motion to accept the coach report as written.
I'll second that.
any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I'm unanimous, okay. Dogs, real easy one this month, huh?
Yeah, just one.
Well, that's a good thing.
I'll make a motion that we approve the dog report.
I'll second it.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. Now, here's a long one, DPW.
Phil, I want to congratulate your guys again on a great amnesty day and the really quick turnaround of getting the dumpsters out and opening up the compost site again.
Yeah.
I know a lot of residents appreciated that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, they did an awesome job this year. Just a little dusty. I think we all had to take a shower when we got home on that deal. Yeah,
And I just want to put out for our village residents that we have our new glass recycling container over by the DPW. It's a yellow tip dumpster, so feel free to utilize that now with even more capacity.
I just got one quick question for you, Bill. It's when on the flags on 281. I noticed there was a few that were missing. Do we not have enough flags, or people do not want the flag in front of their homes? Or I had poles number 158 and 159, and there was a couple other poles that didn't have numbers.
yeah, I think what happened there is the pole hangers themselves I couldn't get a hold of. So, yeah, and we're down to just a few flags, I think is all was left.
And I think total of
yeah.
4.
What was that, Kevin?
I think it was a total of 4. I thought were missing, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, just checking.
Yep.
Thank you.
And also for our residents, Phil, you're looking at June 26th to June 29th to start grinding.
Yes, sir.
And then they'll start paving on the first week of July. I
Yep.
think we've already put the list of roads out.
We did,
Yeah.
all right.
I'll make a motion that we approve the street report as written.
Second.
Bill, anything else to add?
No, just continuing our sidewalk program down James Street.
Good looking, man.
Hopefully, we'll probably have to come back to it. Hopefully we'll get into it next week. The weather's not looking the greatest to dig this week. And actually have the concrete show up and not get it rained on, but. Yeah, hopefully next week we'll get right back at that again. Kind of nice catching up on some other stuff too.
They exchanged the bench truck today.
Oh, yeah. New bench track, sounds good.
Thanks.
Oh,
Bill.
yeah, and the new Ventrac showed up today. Thank you, Dana.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Thank you, Phil.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, fire department. You love the new report.
Doug, how'd the spring training go?
He's at the school board meeting too, so.
Oh, okay. Disregard.
I like this new report a lot.
Yeah.
All right,
I make a motion that we approve the fire report as written.
I'll second it.
any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Police department. You know, I see you grinning back there, and it's because I surmised that you showed up at this meeting in person just to bust on me about the board down at Dover. When did you send these pictures?
May 12th.
May 12th.
I'm still there.
One was
Are
on
they
the
still-
shop, one was on, one was on a hook.
And they're still there.
Well, back one's just gotta be fixed, so.
Hey,
So, Chief, are you telling us that you'd like a tow truck in your police budget for next year?
Might be.
Sorry, Al.
gonna be all Segway scooters, just like the mall cops. All right,
Pictures of burning up in the road.
well, there's that. Chief, you graced us with your presence. Is there anything special you wanna
I just
add?
worked the
That's the one I
board
mixed up.
and the residents for long to go to that national command course.
Yep.
It was
Was it worth it?
quite the experience.
That's awesome.
I'll make a motion that we accept the police report as written. You guys are busy as always.
You know, people was getting busier.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, rec reports.
I know Zach and some of the residents have been frustrated between the fires last week and some of the weather this week.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Registration's open for free reported for camps, basketball, softball, Homer youth football, and Homer field hockey. So, if you're interested in registering, get her done.
And the Cortland Old Timers Band start us off on June 21st.
21st.
Oh. I'll make a motion that we accept the rec report as written.
I'll second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
And water and sewer.
Keith, I'll let it not be known that I don't say something nice about Devin, but congratulations to Devin on getting his Class D water license. That's outstanding.
It's gotta work on Xavier.
Yeah, work on his butt.
Xavier.
On his water license stuff or his CDL stuff?
You gotta do the water license.
You're gonna be busy, huh?
And can't seem to get the pass it.
How old is he?
22.
I gave him a test today and that I gave Bill the answers to. So, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but this afternoon I had a full test from them and Bill has the answers to help him and Joe.
Good.
So I'm like, they have to do it without it though, so they can see where they're missing. Cause that's the
Okay.
problem in this state.
Practice so many different
This-
scenarios.
yeah.
and just-
Yeah,
This one
He's
actually
getting
came,
closer. but-
yeah, this came from the people that write the test.
Oh, good idea.
Just keep working with them.
Yep.
I'll make them, Keith, you have anything to add to the report?
Yeah, I can add it now. We fixed, pushed another line across Clinton Street, service line. We got 3 more to do. They're leaking. And I'm contemplating on just going down through there and pushing them all. Because this is just stupid. They've got lead corks on them, which, you know, the state wants them out of the ground anyways.
Right.
And I mean, there's nothing wrong with the water main. I mean, but I mean, we're gonna be fighting this ever since they paid. This has just turned into a joke. And, but I'm afraid spending the rest of the summer just been going down. I mean, it's only the one side, the ones that go underneath, which we're having good luck. Our pusher that pushes the rods across, and pulls the water line back through, we're having good luck with it, so.
that's good.
And it really, the cost is our labor. You know, what we normally do, fuel, I mean, and then, you know, the packs that we use for the new water line, so it's not a huge cost, so.
How long does it take you to do each one?
It's a day.
It's a full day. I mean, if you, it makes sense to me just to do them, right? Otherwise, I think it would just be,
This would be 5, so we're a quarter of the way done now, or.
Yeah.
And so
I
I
think,
just,
yeah, I think the indication is the other ones are gonna go, so.
yeah.
It's unfortunate, it's
Yeah,
unfortunate that we have so many water problems that.
I mean, it's-
streets,
that, you know, one of the old streets, it's original, they're all steel and
right?
they're just, they're rotted out, and then when they pave, they just strip the ground and.
Yeah,
it just- it-
yeah, and your point about having to get the lead he's out of there, and that's,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can document all that, so we can put it in the.
That's good.
with the
Yeah.
report, and, but the only other thing I have is we gotta push, I'm gonna push a line for suits up there tomorrow, their water line. For that new house, and then probably it'll be a month from now, we'll do the sewer. When they're ready, we'll do it, so we only, because it's 11 feet deep to the sewer line, so I only want to hook that up once.
Right.
So when they're ready, we'll do it, and they can run. Walk through it,
Excellent.
other than that, and then, you know, the biggest thing is having time to do a lot, we got a bunch of maintenance that needs to be done, and. You know, if we get involved in up here on Clinton Street also, and then I got, of course, North Main Street we gotta do. I mean,
Right.
which that shouldn't be too bad, that should be 2 to 3 days, so. We'll just plug along, and
Did you get your part-time help? Are you getting
I-
any summer
I
part-time
got
help?
John Parks is helping, which. He flagged for me the other day on Clinton Street, which he did all right, he needs a little more practice on it, but.
Buzz is in here for.
Yeah, I call it buzzing, because we just, you know, I mean,
That's-
on Clinton Street is a
Yeah, oh, yeah,
pain in the ass to
Sure.
traffic. So we'll just. We can't rely on the street department, so. I know that.
rough.
I think you should.
Crowd,
No, everybody's just busy, so, you know.
right.
Oh.
I heard that.
Where am I sit behind?
Grin, like,
Deflecting off.
Yeah.
he just can't. He just can't.
Good hearing.
No, I heard that. I hear Ford, I heard straight up.
I'll make a motion that we accept the water report.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Let's see here.
No privilege of the floor.
Privilege of the floor, once, twice. No,
No, all
all right,
right.
what do you want to keep?
Bradley's got family in, I'll cover the town notes.
Yep, he emailed me today, yeah.
Well, before I get Tanya did. I didn't notice it in the bills. Did we get a bill from the health department?
Nope,
No,
no,
said he sent one. He emailed me at about 4 o'clock and you know where the money was.
I have only what's there, so,
It's just blood money for. you know what I mean?
yeah.
I call it blood. I
No,
forgot. I think it's less than $100. I'll email him.
okay.
I
Hey, we're
didn't see it
doing-
in the vouchers.
Yeah, on the agenda is another check run. I'm trying to come up with a date between them two and they'll be voting on that, so we can put it in that. Or you or whoever wants to come with that on the same day. I see Ed's at camp, so that's why I didn't put a date down because I didn't know who was available. I'm really looking like Monday, but who's free?
I'll be there late tomorrow afternoon and maybe Friday.
Friday, so we could
Possibly.
possibly do Friday, but
This Friday.
it's for you to sign, but if any of you are available Monday instead, that would be.
Coming Monday?
This coming Monday.
Okay, I didn't realize the village was open. I can come in on Monday.
So why would we be closed?
It's
Oh,
Juneteenth.
Okay, Tuesday. Let's do Tuesday.
Okay, yeah. I can just-
Tuesday? So when you do it'll be next Tuesday. Then we'll do that. I forgot about that.
Oh, it's a floating holiday, so.
No, it says that one now. It
This is
was
that
changed 2 years ago.
Okay. All right. Go up to B,
Hmm?
item B.
Item B, oh, I thought you were gonna do president report,
Oh, no, I was gonna save that for mine.
saving it for the end,
I'm
okay,
saving
I'm sorry. All right, next, we're gonna approve the recreation department request. Look at all these awesome businesses that wanna sponsor
I
the
think
shirts,
they're looking to ask them for it. They haven't
Oh,
asked them yet. So,
potential sponsors.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Look at all these potential awesome sponsors.
The only one I was looking at was,
It's still, right,
I was gonna say, yeah, are we looking at the same one? The C should be a K. Yeah, so. We'll need to,
I think the point,
we'll need to talk to Zach about that. It's not a good way to get business, misspell the name.
Spell his name wrong and everything.
I'm sorry, are you still in the sponsoring game at this point?
sure.
Well, I guess for item number one, the retired nurses, I would make a motion that we waive the park rental fee for the retired nurses on July 25th at 13.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then next up, seeking approval to use these businesses to about shirts. I think that's fine, right? I don't think we need to vote on that, do we?
I don't think so.
Go do it. Let's see, all right. Approved turkey rental credit due to water break.
Friday night, the water broke and that affected their rental. They even had to bring stuff to go get water. I called them, I found out it broke.
Yeah.
Mike Harder called me. So, they could actually get their food ready and the things cleaned up. I called Pat and I'm like, can we do a credit? They paid, we didn't say how much. They paid 100 and it's whatever you guys want to.
I mean, I'd be all right with just giving them the full refund.
Sure.
It had to be a huge inconvenience.
Yeah,
Right,
She
right.
was really good about it and, she was really happy I called ahead
yeah,
so they could prepare.
yeah. No, I think that's,
I'll make a motion that we approve the turkey rental credit due to the water break. Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So I talked to Zach because they pay online and he's gonna do this tomorrow, whatever had been approved.
Okay. All right. Okay, next, approve the Homer Fire Department 150th banner.
So I was really tired when I first did the agenda, and to give you a heads up, it even said something else. So there's two banners. Here you go.
Okay,
And obviously, there's Magic on Main and the fire department. So I had Holiday and Homer, which was actually approved last year already. And I had Magic and Mains in my hands and wrote the wrong one. And then Gabe sent me the fire department, which I had already had too, and just kind of didn't realize there were two. So, yeah, so there's two banners that need approval.
okay,
Thanks, Fred.
And they're the fire department and the Magic on.
We're gonna keep having such action-packed summers. We're gonna need this place for a second, but
Well, that's the problem because they want 2 weeks and some of these can only have 1 week or they have to share. And the fire department right now is either gonna try to hang like here and here. Like, so one would be here and one would be there.
that makes sense.
And on the day of the events or the morning of, night before, they'd be going up, like, one of them is Holiday and Homer.
Mhm.
So they would, what they're hoping to do is to go up, which I know is a pain, and then take the other one down, and then when the night after Holiday and Homer switch it. And it is a lot of extra work for them.
Yeah,
So they're first trying to put them together and then making it so
Right.
during the event, they have the picture.
that works.
And they say it's part of training, but at the same point, it is a lot of extra work.
Right,
So, and the banners are coming two-sided, so having them share is also the problem.
right.
So,
All right,
I guess we'll do it individually. I'll make a motion that we approve the Magic on Main banner.
Second,
discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
I make a motion that we approve the Homer Fire Department 150th anniversary banner.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Next up, review the Homer garbage and recycling bin quotes.
so we had a whole bunch of others that are way higher than the U line. So the two better ones are here. The Cascade Engineering is who, City of Portland used.
Right,
You can do the delivery or not do the delivery if you choose to even go forward with it. So you'll see in there, the 13,917 is for them to distribute all the garbage cans to all the
Right.
residents, and we'd have one person with them writing down the numbers they get. Or we could have the street crew do that themselves, so they'd pick, because we also have to pick up any Syracuse Hauler ones,
right,
so.
Oh, when Syracuse haulers pick up their own?
Probably not, because we contract with them to use that, so, and then if we let them do it, you have no notification of which residents were picked up. So we have a huge spreadsheet of everybody's bins, and every resident is liable for each bin, because they're basically like a lien, so they're 250 per bin.
Yeah,
And so if they pick them up, you gotta go by their records on who's.
I would, and I would want them to pick them up, but us just to literally follow right behind them.
Yeah.
One person documenting what they picked up and then the next, another person dropping off the new
Mhm.
bin. I think that's the way we would have to do it. So we'd have to just coordinate it so it happened at the same exact time.
yeah.
And we should be able to have them come get them whenever we want, because it doesn't. Doesn't have to be those bins.
Mhm.
But. All right,
I'm surprised at the difference.
in price,
in product.
Because, one is a warehouse making them, and the others are all resellers. And the other warehouses, even that the manufacturers on that, they don't want to come down. So like Global Industries, is another one. It was just the same as like Uline. That's why we emailed Mayor Steve for this, because he had found someone that was a lot less.
yeah,
Okay.
So we called up, Maureen called Uline itself because that's where in the past we had gotten a lower quote, and they have, in fact, they said we wouldn't get them all at once. It would take 1.5 years for them to do them. Like they're gonna do so many at a time, and then after we were able to deliver them, we would get more.
Is the color set?
Oh, no, we were just picking colors. We heard blue and one of the things that Cascade suggested is to use the same colored bin with a different lid to save money.
I like that idea, yeah.
And his suggestion was like yellow, most people think yellow with recycling, but we could do whatever we wanted. And they don't even have to be blue, but you know, at one place, people told me to try blue, so.
Yeah.
But we could get any colors.
Okay.
And did Cascade give you a sense of timing when they would be ready to do it?
Just a few weeks.
Okay.
So,
Can we get a color palette from Cascade?
sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. You could have ordered a really terrible color on accident. Oh my god.
Some added info to go along with the discussion is amongst my multiple backs and forths with DEC regarding glass recycling, curbside glass recycling, things of that nature. Did get in touch with a person who handles the grants that actually there's a program to help buy bins, to buy trucks, things of that nature. However, from the time of application to the time of grant award, the usual time is about 3 to 5 years. So certainly, depending on how this wants to go, but if we were to get these bins at whatever time in the near future, there'll be obviously no grant money for that. You can't apply for that, maybe the truck. But if the timeline, depending on what we want to do, we want to wait out that time, get applications in for multiple, bins and trucks and things of that nature, then, like I said, 3 to 5 years.
All right. I was talking with the guy that I know from Mohawk Valley area who does this stuff. And his dad, that's all he did his whole life. And I think that they might be willing to come down as like consultants for us to help us set the whole thing up and to work through all these issues and all that, which I think would be helpful, actually. So, yeah, so this is good. Thank you. Well, this is, I think it's reasonable. I think we're gonna have the bins at least at some point soon, because then at least more companies can, even if we don't bring it in-house, more companies can bid on it. So, all right, approve $4.11 credit.
So I keep sending to a taxpayer who's giving us lots of stuff. Because of their process takes 2 weeks to pay.
Mhm.
And it's their fees that they're paying on the water and sewer. But by the time they can process it, what happens is they owe more interest and penalties.
Okay,
And it's,
okay.
and
That's
like, they're giving us a lot. So rather than keep playing mail tag,
fine.
it's just interest, so it's parts that we can.
Yeah. All right, we have a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the $4.11 credit and penalties for said tax payment.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, okay. And we're gonna table G because it's a contractual. H, or G's not table, but for executive, I mean, it's contractual. H, review water and sewer credit requests.
So this resident, back in March was working with Donna when she first came back,
Right,
and somehow the letter never came to the board. So she had, or their family had, a broken pipe in the crawl space and a broken pipe somewhere else right near it, but the crawl space one was missed, but found from us calling.
okay,
And you'll see it's pretty high. They owed roughly $598 and the credit comes to $395, and it was all from that time. So I found the emails where they were, and they're like, they called looking for what happened with the credit request, and I'm like, I don't have a letter. So I found all the emails, but not the
Right.
letter, so they sent a new letter,
okay,
and that's what this is.
all right.
I'll make a motion that we approve the water and sewer credit as requested.
So which one is the credit?
They're both.
390. Oh, the 395.29.
Yep.
Yeah.
That just adds the water and sewer. They're broken up individually for posting.
I'll second it.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right,
So you gave her back to sewer too?
We do, because whenever the pipe leaks, there's a program that they can get one per year if they fix it right away. And there's a policy for that, and they have to fix it when we called, and they did. We just never took it to the board, but there's a set policy to get the sewer credit and the water credit,
You really should get the sewer credit,
so.
why not?
because the sewer costs so much.
But yeah, that's why it's a one-time leak and they have to show what was broken, and,
I'm just stressing that.
yeah,
But you're right.
but that's our policy, right?
All right. Parking plan.
So this is written out because the next step is, if this is good and approved by the board, is talking to the school, getting contracts done for each of these, and then insurance with Paul. So, some of them need shuttles, some of them don't, some of them just need our parking. Some of them are the town hall for horses. So each one of the places that the village would use, we would have to do a contract with, kind of like you're seeing. Subsequently, there's 2 more contracts for parking for the use of Route 11. But we have to verify that these all work with the school too, and the shuttles. Chief Pittman looked at these 2 because making sure the routes.
Mhm.
So this is what we've come up with right now. And then the next step would be, if approved, talking to Tom. And then, this week we would start talking, each of these owners have at one point said yes, verifying that it is yes, and then doing the contract.
So the town of Homer brought this up in their meeting and they approved it at their town meeting.
Yep.
For the parking plan on their part.
All right,
So
Yeah, and then, I know of one other event that may have a horse, and, Fred told me today it's welcome here.
They just said, make sure it cleans up better.
very good.
or someone else.
Or someone else cleans, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, this looks good to me.
I'll make a motion that we approve the parking plan for the summer 2023 events.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I just want to thank Tanya and Chief Pittman and everybody along with all the school reps and all the event sponsors working together,
Yep.
as well as the owners of the properties who are assisting by allowing us to use the parking in their lots. We have a lot going on, and there's one of those cases where it takes a village, and the village came together for the benefit of everybody. So I want to thank everybody who
Yeah.
helped make this happen.
I'll second that.
Absolutely. A lot of work. I know it was a lot of work. All right, all in favor? Duke. Approve CNY Living History Center MOU for use of Route 11 for parking during event. So they can use the linear park to park on. So,
You need a motion on that? I'll make that motion
I'll second it.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Right, unanimous. And MOU for the same thing for the Brockway,
Different dates.
different dates, but yeah, same parcel of land. I think.
Yeah, same.
And I'll make a motion to approve the Brockway MOU.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Duke, approve Tyler Van as part-time recreation assistant.
It's a busy time for rec, and they're able to accomplish so much in the summer with these assistants, so. I make a motion that we approve Tyler Van Etten as a part-time rec assistant.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, very good. Next up, appoint Tanya DeGenero as notary effective July 1st, 2023.
Make a motion that we appoint Tanya DeGenero as notary effective July 1st, 2023.
I'll second that.
Way to go.
Yes, and forget that one there, but thanks, Peter. All in favor?
Aye.
Next up, appoint Ryan Foodie as part-time police officer.
I'll make that motion that we appoint Brian Booty as part-time police officer.
I will second.
Do I pronounce that last name right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks, Chief. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Next up, approve creating a part-time sergeant position.
This was in the budget, by the way. So,
No,
yes, so.
I'll make a motion that we approve creating the part-time sergeant position for the Homer Police Department.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Good, let's see. Approve public hearing for a police car. That's why you're here.
We're looking at, it takes a year out, but, so even if used in next budget, they can't order it to next March or April. So they're looking to use reserves, and of course, they're hoping that in the budget time that reserves are replenished, but that's up to you. The expense is expected to be about 47,000.
Just see what color the emblem on the hood is, whether or not we replenish that reserve.
Well,
Guess we'll see what's rolling around from that time.
I'll make a motion that we approve the public hearing for the police car.
I'll second it.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right, create a part-time sewer heavy equipment operator position.
I'll make a motion that we create a part-time sewer and heavy equipment operator position.
I'll second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Appoint Larry Barber to part-time heavy equipment operator.
Let me check his credentials.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a resume.
I'll make the motion that we appoint Larry Barber to part-time heavy equipment operator.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Unanimous. Next up, approve budget adjustments.
We were awarded a DEC grant for a portable pump for part of it, and that's what this is.
Very good.
And they've already inspected it and are sending the check this.
Fantastic.
I'll make a motion that we approve the budget adjustment.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, unanimous. Good, and then, approve check run.
I think we're looking at Tuesday. So we'll
Okay.
wait for next Tuesday.
Do you need a specific time on Tuesday or any time?
I'll have it done.
Okay.
I'm just afraid Friday it won't be, so that's why
All right, DRI summary, so, the meetings are gonna be the first Thursday of the month from 2:30 to 4:30. And the locations will be announced if they change,
I'm sorry, first Tuesday or
first Thursday. Of the month, yeah,
2:30 to 4:30?
2:30 to 4:30.
Already have one scheduled for 6th July at the Center for the Arts.
6th July, Center for the Arts is the next one. And I think that's also the first public comment, right, that follows after.
Follows that, yes.
Yeah. Okay, very good. All right. Attorney had to step out.
There's a meeting in Groton on these second Tuesdays.
Ah,
So the fourth one, he'll be here the whole.
Yes.
gotcha. Okay,
So going forward, if we could move him up on these Tuesday meetings until he finished the Governor's Groton obligation.
that we will. That's a good point. All right, comments by board members? Who'd like to begin?
I did not have anything.
Okay, then okay, first thing is the field days parking was not the greatest. I don't know if anybody else was aware that there wasn't any handicap parking whatsoever. And I don't know what the deal is with the Legion, but why couldn't we drive through there? They had it all roped off.
Oh, did they?
So then you turn around and go back by the fire station. They had, so you couldn't get close to us, let alone find a handicap spot within 300 yards anyway. But I was just wondering what the confusion was there and
We don't have a parking lot really is what it is, so. In Homer, and that's one of the things you were looking at the festival and area and restructuring it.
For the officers, it's theirs and it's not yours.
Yeah. Long enough, they don't
I understand that.
Coming to the Legion, I don't think they wanted vehicles coming that way.
Mhm.
They wanted to control the access through the fire department, but I agree with you, they should. If they were actually watching, if you pull up, and there was handicap, they would have directed you.
I have one in my car.
So could
But
we
we
start?
got, I think next, we're gonna be in discussion, we'll talk more with the fire department about parking. For the next event or events.
Because that is the village lot.
And then, for the 150th, we're looking at having shuttles, so people would be able to get off near the shuttles. They, we're looking, I know Bob Johnson's the chair of part of it, and he was mentioning the high school, and Cindy offered parking at the CNY Living History Center, so there's parking and shuttles there.
That's helpful, but if we've got people who are coming who are using wheelchairs, it'd be nice for them to be able to drive.
That's my,
Yeah.
That's a good point.
that was my point.
Yeah, Kevin, that's a good,
Yeah,
Maybe next time behind the rec building, reserving that.
all of those spots, yeah, that would be
For
good.
handicap parking.
what happened at the last one is when we realized the library and the second Saturday farmers market were all doing events at the same time, it became for the farmers market vendors. That's where they ended up.
Right.
So, and at least, and I'd be looking at for like Brockway. Cause they're not there, well, they're moving, so they're the same day, so where else the parking could be.
Sounds good.
All right.
I talked with Phil about the gaps, with the flags.
Right.
Okay, now, I guess the flower boxes on the corners, the flowers look great, flowers throughout the village look great. They don't weed it very well, and they don't mulch, the mulch needs to be, is it okay if I do that myself?
No, of course, good if you want to do that.
Well, I just want to get permission.
Yeah,
I don't know, say, I saw him up there, you know.
yeah,
Since I am a member of the beautification committee,
that's right.
nobody should give me a whole lot of crap.
No, nobody should give you, you're performing your official duties.
And can I put flags in the trees that are in the boxes for the 4th of July? Is that okay, Pete?
Seems fine to me.
And what, if anything, can we do to work on the relationship between the Legion and the Center for the Arts?
I think we're gonna try to have another meeting and, we might need to get like a facilitator or something, I don't know. You know, someone, a
It just seems
mediator.
to me that, you know, both organizations want the best things for the village,
Mhm.
but they just, I don't, they just can't agree on anything as when it comes to parking.
The thing is,
No, I hate you and you can't park here, you hate me, but that's just nonsense.
maybe we gotta work it out with the Legion where we get the center to staff the lot and say, we'll staff the lot, we'll keep people out of these spots. We'll charge them $5 to park and we'll split the money with you. And all you have to do is allow us to use it,
Yeah, that's not bad.
right? Something like that. So, but that's the kind of stuff we actually have to, meet and talk about. And yeah, but I agree with you. We need to fix that.
That would be nice,
Mhm.
whatever. I think I'm done.
Attended the town meeting last week. Discussed the possibility of the car charging station. Provided some information for them that Tanya and Dan had provided for me. The car charging station down there is actually getting used quite a bit.
I think it's gonna be
So
more and more, yeah.
the fact of bringing one to the north part of town, north part of the village
Yeah,
is a good idea, but still awaiting because we need to figure out what type of charger we want to use. Because that will impact the amount of electric requirement, which they would like to know for when they do the renovations.
yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to afford the fast one unless
No.
we get a super grant, so.
Does anybody ask the two gas stations what the future of that is?
I haven't asked, but I know Maravitos got them. Maravitos has a charging station. Yeah, it's good.
It ain't good to see it go screwing around getting them and then have the gas station put in.
Well, yeah, but
You know.
even if they put them in over there, we still need them on this side of the village, at least in the town lot.
Because at least here they can charge up and go do some shopping. if they charge up over on the other side, their options are a little bit more limited.
Right.
They finished some working on the balcony. Let's see, got the parking taken care of. Issue with there's concern over the ARPA funds, being clawed back. So I just want to make sure as we're looking at our fiscal responsibility, we make sure we have those, our funds accounted for.
Yeah, we have a spreadsheet done. We need to have another work session because we have a bunch of grants and updates and where we want to allocate things. And we actually have one that should be de-allocated for a new contract if there's going to be a project, because right now, which one is that? I can't remember. The bike track.
Peacemaker
Yeah.
through,
Oh, have you reached out to her at all or no?
I have done the adjustment.
We just know our contracts expire.
Okay, all right.
So,
Never was formalized.
yeah.
That's through your
Central.
organization,
Red City, regional, no, the,
the NY regional.
PNY region,
Yeah.
yes.
So yeah, it'd be good to find out what the deal is with that.
Then, Linda Jones was the county representative at the town meeting. The county has taken their $900,000 in ARPA funds and encumbered it to the courthouse. Met the new county deputy administrator, Melanie, and I can't think of her last name, and I apologize for that. Of course, there was discussion about how many years are left on the county landfill. That was already in the newspaper, so I'm not going to belabor that as we are already moving forward, trying to figure out our own solutions.
I've got some ideas there.
There was a resident that attended the meeting there and they were curious as to why the fire department didn't have carnival rides this year. Felt it was a little shortchanging kind of the family atmosphere. And he wasn't the only one that I've talked to that felt that way. I've talked to the fire department and the department head meeting, and they're looking to rectify that for next year.
Good.
So other than that, and the last thing is we've got a lot going on and we definitely need to schedule a work session.
Yeah.
So I don't have us.
Get a calendar.
Oh, do we still have more of these Village of Homer Downtown Revitalization Initiative comment cards? Or was that given out by
That had to be given out by them, but we could make copies or email.
And we don't have those. That was the consultant, I
I
believe.
mean,
okay, those. So I was just thinking maybe we can keep some on the
Yeah.
on the desk, on the counter,
Good idea.
and that's all I got.
All right. Work session possibilities.
I'm thinking maybe we have a retreat at somebody's camp.
Someone who looks really cozy up there.
Yeah.
I have a 22-foot pontoon boat. We could actually party on it.
You mean have a
Work session, a work session, Ed.
Yeah.
Gotta get the terminology right.
Oh, yeah, we could work.
I mean, we could
How
do
long does it take to get there?
Tuesday, the 20th, the night of the 20th. Hate to take up everybody's Tuesdays this month, but
Tuesday the 20th.
How much stuff do we have on the 27th, which is used to be our work session?
oh,
we'll have a bunch of stuff by then, because that's where we're talking about the low staff when that's June, July. The 27th, well, I'm sure, like, because we have all those contracts coming
right,
for the
parking and stuff.
parking and stuff, that just alone, before anybody brings anything in.
Um,
So honestly, this summer is packed.
Well, we could come early for
No.
work. I would like to do the 27th if I could, because I'm planning on being there. So if you could start, say at 5 o'clock or even 4:30.
You have those Tuesday meetings. every
I have,
Thursday.
yeah, I have a Tuesday meeting that I have a hard time even getting here by 6. Because they go late. It's the it's the policy committee and it's like one of the most.
We'll make it Monday night then.
The 26th.
Uh,
Can change the board meeting too to the 26th.
let's see here.
Cause I'll be there on the 26th.
I mean, I could do the 26th.
I can do that.
All right. 6 o'clock.
Well, if it's the board meeting too, and you wanted to do early Tuesday, you should do early Monday.
Oh, early
Like
Monday.
5, whatever you use.
26.
Oh, sorry, I won't be able to get here by 5. I can be here by 6, but I can't be here by 5.
We do both days. If we need.
You could do the work from 5 and then the board meeting can start at 6. So you could not miss the board meeting. The work is probably, you know, the rest of us could probably chew on that for a while.
Well, I would miss that unless we.
Oh,
move
oh,
it.
on Monday, I meant, you know, you should be
Oh,
available
board
Monday, right?
meeting. If we move the board meeting, then. What time do you think you could get here on Monday?
I should be able to get here by 5:30.
So we could just do it. We could just start at 5:30 on Monday. Does that work for everybody?
Works for me.
I'd recommend maybe not doing the board meeting Monday though, just keeping them on our Tuesdays. I know you're having trouble sometimes with.
No, yeah, this would, I'm,
For one time, right?
well, it's not, yeah.
No, I meant. we're
Oh,
only
moving
at
it,
one
yeah,
time,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So the board meeting, the work session and the board meeting would be the 26th.
Yeah,
That's what we're going for.
Starting at what time? 5:30?
5:30.
Or just a half-hour work session then?
let's
That's the question.
say the board meeting starts at 7. Good point.
So we'll need to notice at least the board meeting, right?
Yeah. All right. Anything else before we go to executive session? to discuss?
Don't forget Ed.
Ed, comments?
Hey, okay, two. One, I went to the parade, the fireman's parade and the dairy parade. Wow, what an event for the people in Homer. I think we knocked it out of the park for being very community oriented. I thought it was absolutely wonderful, along with the Center for the Art, 20 years. I got to go see the Glengarry boys. Same outfit I saw 15 years ago when I first came to Homer. So that was kind of a hoot. And so anyhow, I wanted to thank all the firemen and everybody that worked on that. And the chief, I saw him, he was busy. But anyhow, what's going on with our dam and our oysters or whatever it is that we're working on?
Thanks, Ed. Thank you for reminding me. So yesterday and today, we actually had people in the river doing the survey.
Wow.
So,
Oh, I did. I went past them.
yep,
I was wondering what they were doing. Okay.
Oh, finally.
and so they finished up today. And the gentleman in charge said he should have something to us at the end of next week or the beginning of the week after. He'll send it to us and he'll send it to the DEC. Once the DEC gets it, the DEC's got 45 days to review it.
Can I just say that we're in the wrong business if these guys are making like $25,000 for 3 days of work?
He does have to go back to the office and
Write a report?
write a
Or
report. but
dear.
He did say there's some pretty big walleye.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Nowhere cheaply.
Well, yeah. First of all,
Actually, that's pretty good news. In 45 days, the water should be lower. September is August. That may be a good time to dig the dam out when the water's
Oh.
low.
we're still gonna have to let an RFP for dam removal.
You could probably do that ahead of time and have the scheduled date be flexible. You
We
could
we
probably
talked
do
about,
it
we
anytime.
talked about that a little bit, Ed, but the problem is if we don't anticipate anything significant in the report. But if there is, it would alter the contract and the cost. We were trying to think about doing it simultaneously or concurrently, but we're thinking it might be better just to wait and get the final answer from DEC. I would like to do it concurrently, but, I don't know.
I'll touch base with Sarah Seal Junior and this guy that I met from Edge and just see what, if there is stuff from DEC, if we can anticipate, or maybe that can be put into the RFP.
Okay. Did you hear that?
Possible exclusions or possible added costs.
Ed, did you hear Dan's?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Hey, we're making progress. That's encouraging. All right, over.
All right. Before we go, questions from the media.
Yeah, hell, I got a couple questions.
All right, we'll start with Kevin.
So what date is the public hearing for the police car? I don't think I heard a date.
Haven't said it yet.
We haven't said it yet.
Okay. But they're, okay, gotcha.
July, because I can't get it noticed
Yeah.
in time.
Probably July, our first meeting in July.
Okay. And then, Tanny, you mentioned the possibility of reserve funds?
Yeah, so, the police have been putting money away, and every time they sell a vehicle, they save it and then get another vehicle. And so what happens is, they have enough reserve funds right now to actually just purchase the vehicle.
Okay,
I might recommend this public hearing get pushed to the back end of July, because the 1st of July is all bond resolutions. And
Okay.
hearings for public hearings for seeker with regards to our pump station.
Okay, yeah, that's
That's
good.
gonna be a long night.
That's good. So it'll be the second meeting in July, Kevin.
like me in July, okay. And then, probably a question for Chief Pedman. Is this related, is the part-time sergeant position related to the one that was created in November?
Created one in November.
I think that must have been the one that we talked about, we allocated for it in the budget in November.
But we
Oh,
didn't
okay,
create it.
gotcha. Oh, so
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
gotcha. All right, that's all I needed. Thanks, guys.
yep, thanks.
I just had a quick question about the LoSAP estimate. What is the likelihood that that would happen?
I think all the requirements that they have to get together have to be reviewed to even be a likelihood.
Okay.
Plus, it's got to go on the ballot, and the people may not want a 2 or 3% tax raise. $40,000 a year is a little over 2% increase in taxes.
Unless it can be found to be put in the budget.
Right. Any other questions from the media?
That's it for me.
That's it for you, okay. Next one, going once, going twice, going thrice. All right, we need to go into executive session. For New York State Public Officers Law, Article 7, Section 105, to discuss a contractual matter.
As well as personnel.
As well as personnel.
Thanks to go with Davidson.
On that note.
Motion.
I'll make a motion to go into executive.
I'll second that motion. The time is 19:25 hours.
All in favor?